Start the clock.
Evening kiddies, Daventry here with you. I'm gonna make this one quick because I'm running late. Okay, so we're gonna talk like this whole video. Okay, nothing keep up. I'm giving you a call here, Jimmy. I'd have a heart attack if I tried doing that. Okay. Yeah, a lot of weirdness going on Berry Island tonight. Apparently, someone said they we'll get into that. So let's just go start with the film text. See what we got. Don't forget, Homework Files this weekend will be Vampires, 1998 by John Carpenter. Hopefully, we can get some folks there this time. But we had a blast doing the play called Zygon Curse of Osgood this last weekend. I'd like to get a Doctor Who one in every now and then. It's just, I don't want to get too far away from the subject, but you know, we're on hiatus right now till the new show new season starts in the fall. So, you know, got to do something to fill in the time. And I figured, you know, let's just do some movies we like. So, okay, let's go ahead and get this done. Let's get this over. Let's take a look at what we got. Okay, this from Berry Island yesterday. This is Jemma Redgrave on the set. Looking rather regal. And then, of course, there's Osgood in her little military jumper. Well, it's some kind of, it does look like a almost military style sweater, because when you see the, you know, you've seen the other pictures of it where you have the patches and stuff, or you know, on the shoulder here as well as here, kind of like commando style. Okay, this was a picture of Capaldi on set, and then this was also yesterday. Once again, he's wearing the holy jumper. Yeah, the check trousers, as he said, were a one-off, and they are no longer there. And then, of course, these were from the other day, and I already gave credit for those. So, okay. Well, don't worry. We got a lot of short stuff tonight. I have to go to bed, and I'm running way late. We're just sitting up having a great time on Zoom tonight, and I lost track of time. Okay, let's go for it. Shall we? All right. First, I have to get that out of the way. Close that. I know this is really interesting crap, ain't it? Okay, first up on the docket, okay, wait. Okay, first up, if you're running over here to this on BBC One, this is just a short clip. All it is him saying, hello, I'm the Doctor, join me, are you going to, for my next adventure? And this was sent over to the guys in India. Now, you know he's been wearing the holy jumper and all that, but check out his hoodie. Now, someone pointed this out, I think it was Girly Letters, or was it Leanne Roberts pointed this out. Notice his hoodie's all ripped up here. You know, is that part of his new look? We don't know. But okay. Then jumping on over to Leanne, of course, that's where I got that picture from over here. This is the crew apparently packing up and leaving the Berry Island shoot. So I got him. It kind of makes me wonder: are they going back to Spain, as Adam, said? You know, Adam Orford put that up the other day, and also, as far as I know, today though, I don't think any of the stars were on there at all. So it makes me wonder: are they doing a studio and then they're going to go to Spain? But what's going on in Spain? Got to makes you wonder if they are going there. But if I find out anything more on that that's solid, I'll pass it on to you. All right. Okay. Now all this is a short pictorial video. It's I originally saw it, and it starts with this frame right here. Hang on. So I thought it was Colin Baker speaking. It's not, but okay. And this was of course from the Daventry Express. Crowds turn out for Doctor Who star in Daventry. Crowds are at Daventry Town Centre Thursday last week to meet a TV legend. Colin Baker, best known for playing the sixth incarnation of the Doctor on BBC's Doctor Who, was at Cooney's Coffee and Comics in Bowen Square in the evening for a sighting. And look at this. Look at this. This guy is still packing them in, man. Groups of fans gathered outside the shop well before the event began, many carrying books, DVDs, magazines, and other items featuring the Doctor for him to sign. The event was organized by Brian Cooney, who owns the cafe. He said, quote, for the people who can't get along to the big conventions, this gives them a chance to meet some of the bigger stars. And after all, Colin is one of the only 13 people to ever play the Doctor. That's pretty nice of them, this guy to do this for the folks out there. Because as I've talked about before, convention prices, depending if you go to the big conventions and like a Wizard World, they're going to charge you up the butt. For just basic stuff. And I was just flashing back, and I talked about that briefly in a video, or what happened to the good old days when everybody paid the same price, everybody got the same experience and all that. But, come on. Once again, it became a business, you see, and see how that happens. All right, moving on. Jumping on over here to Doctor Who, Ingrid Oliver teases the new Osgood role. And this is just a couple of quick little snippets with her. BBC released a video featuring actress Ingrid Oliver chatting about the upcoming Doctor Who Series 9 return for Osgood. You can watch it. It was revealed last week. The unit scientists, you know, and like I said, we're not sure if this is Osgood or Zygot Osgood. And it's kind of a thing we talked about in this last Omega Files. For interesting, go and check it out. The two-part story currently being filmed in Cardiff is written by Peter Harness, who also wrote Kill the Moon. Well, it wasn't the fact that the moon turned out to be a giant egg. It's just, it kind of dragged in a few places. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. And of course, he lists the folks who are already been listed, you know, as guest cast for this thing. So if you want, go check these out. Like I said, they're relatively short. You know, this one's 26 seconds. That one's 39 seconds. It doesn't really give you much, to be honest. Okay, now the reason why I got these up, these are over on the Big Finish production site on Facebook. So you're going to have to go over there to get these, all right? This is a cover for Terror of the Sontarans, co-written by Dan Starkey with John Dorney. And, of course, Dan Starkey will be playing in this one as well. This is a Seventh Doctor adventure with Mel. So Bonnie Langford is back. Great. Why is somebody chatting away on my turn? Hang on a second. I forgot to mute it. Oh, well. Okay. So, interesting stuff there. This will be out. This one's the one that's coming out in September. All right. This one's coming out in July, and if this is We Are the Daleks, kind of looks like there's a game show thing going on here. So, once again, this is another Sylvester McCoy, Bonnie Langford. Also, they have coming out, and this one comes out in August. This is The Warehouse, and same deal, as you can see. You know. So these are all early Seventh Doctor adventures here. And you'll notice that when you get into the Big Finish range, they do jump around in the Seventh Doctor's timeline a lot. They jump around quite a bit in Colin Baker's as well. Peter Davison, just pretty much all of them. I think the only one who kept a pretty steady continuity for a while, where they just kept going in order, was the Eighth Doctor. And, of course, he branched off into the Eighth Doctor Adventures, which follows its own storyline. And I keep explaining to people, they're like, well, why doesn't he ever travel to Grace Holloway? And I said, unfortunately, the characters Grace Holloway and Chang Lee, who are in the Fox movie, are co-owned by Fox. And that's why you're never going to see them in Big Finish Productions, more than likely, because Fox is notorious for being buttheads when it comes to giving away rights to things. Matter of fact, ask when Nathan, I think it was Nathan Fillion or someone, went back and asked, you know, to buy the rights to Firefly to do an independent. No, actually, that was a myth. That's right. Very sorry. But there was an inquiry as to how much Fox did want for the rights to Firefly, and it came out to somewhere around $300 million. And this is for a show they canceled over a decade ago. So it gives you an idea of just how much of a tightwads they are, okay? Okay, over on Kasterborous, continuing with the Big Finish run here, we have the Fourth Doctor Adventures, Return to Telos, and this will be coming out later this summer. If I remember right, this is also August. This is Tom Baker, Louise Jameson as Leela, and Jamie McCrimmon, played by Fraser Hines. So this is an interesting little mashup right here. And of course, all you folks, you know, who are hardcore fans know that Telos was like the secondary homeworld to the Cybermen. And it was first encountered in Tomb of the Cybermen with Patrick Troughton. And it's a pretty interesting, you know, these are the way the Cybermen looked then, if you're kind of freaking out. It's like, wait a minute, how come they look like that? That's how they looked back then. And it had, you know, they did the best they could with what they had. But, you know what? These guys were really, really creepy, especially when they choreographed their movements and such. Oh, yeah. Snidbit. I can't remember how it was done. Okay, Michael Troughton, when he was reading his father's, when he did his father's autobiography, one of the things they covered was that in Tomb of the Cybermen, because all these guys looked exactly the same except for the Cyber Leader, in order to know who he was addressing, because when these guys are talking in their suits and all that, you know, you barely hear them, and the people off screen and all that aren't going to know who they're talking to and all that. So each Cyberman would make like a little arm gesture or something like that, and that's who Patrick knew who to face. So that was an interesting little bit they had in that book there. All right. So Return to Telos coming later this summer, and that is going to be, it's set to release, and that's right, it was in August. You can get your pre-order in now for these. Now, this one, I don't know. Matter of fact, yeah, these are all available to pre-order. Very sorry. I should have covered that. My fault. So right here on each of these, you got to go run over, all right, for these three right here, you got to go over to Facebook, go to the Big Finish Productions site. You'll know it because it's the only official one, and they got the Big Finish logo right here. This will, so take a good look at that. That's the page you want to go to for these, to get information on these. Or you can probably get information also on the Big Finish website, which I believe is bigfinishproductions.com, or sorry, bigfinish.com. So if you just want to go jump straight over to there, type in the title you're interested in, boom, you got it. Okay. All right. Next up, all right. Remember last night we mentioned they were coming out with photo covers for the upcoming, Titan Comics Summer event with the 5-part series. Well, guess what? Here they are. These are the photo covers. The 5-part series will feature the 10th, 11th, and 12th Doctors alongside the War Doctor, who I call the Puma Doctor. And the reason why is because since Eccleston backed out, Moffat had to, basically he pulled out of Moffat's ass. It's kind of a joke thing. P-O-O-M-A, the Puma Doctor. Okay, alongside the War Doctor portrayed by John Hurd, who graces the cover of issue 1 of the series. Week 2 starts with David Tennant. Week 3, Matt Smith, with Peter Capaldi on the issue of number 4, on the front of number 4. And the story is written by Paul Cornell, illustrated by Neil Edwards, and will be published weekly starting Wednesday, August 12th. So these are going to come out in succession a week apart, okay? So kind of interesting thing there. And then it ends up with, bam, this one right here. Now, I'm not a big comic book guy, so this ain't my thing, but I figure I'd share it with you guys who are, okay? Okay. Panini's Doctor Who Adventures, number 2, on sale on May 21st. That's right. The second issue of Panini's Regenerated Doctor Who Adventures will hit the newsstands on the 21st of May. It promises more thrills, more adventures, and more excitement than ever. Now, opening proceedings, the Doctor and Clara find themselves rocking out at the end of the universe as they face the deadly hunger of the devourer of the cosmos. In this issue's strip story, The Big Hush, drawn by Russ Leach, written by Jason Quinn, and colored by John Burns. And they also have the other little nifty, fixtures. And check it out, really funky cover here, all right? And see all these different little things right here that they've thrown in. Be sure to go check this out if you're interested in it, all right? Okay, let's keep moving on. Over on Kasturbis again. Karen Gillan is joining Brad Pitt's The Big Short. That's right. Okay. Now, according to the trades and Karen Gillan herself, the girl who waited has been noticed by the likes of Academy Award winner Brad Pitt. According to the Hollywood News, Gillan is joining the cast of Pitt's upcoming movie, The Big Short. The film is being produced by Pitt's Plan B Entertainment and also features an incredible cast, including Brad Pitt himself, Ryan Gosling, Steve Carell, and Christian Bale. Now, Gillan, who tweeted the news that she was working on the film, is said to have a small part in the movie based on the relatively recent American financial crisis. However, the casting is a sure sign of the rise of her stock in Hollywood, and they say selfie notwithstanding. Further details on her role are scarce right now. So it's kind of nice to know, hey, she's still getting work, man. Plus she's got Guardians of the Galaxy 2 coming up. This girl's set. And back in the old days, you were worried after you did Doctor Who, man. You were. And, her, Matt Smith, and Arthur Darvill and the gang seem to be doing pretty well. So is Noel Clark. I see Noel Clark in like everything, man. Okay. Global iPlayer to close. That's right. The global version of the BBC iPlayer will close next month. The service, which allows viewers outside the UK to watch BBC programs, including Doctor Who, for a subscription fee, will cease on the 26th of June. The service was available in Western Europe, Australia, and Canada, although it never launched in the United States due to conflicts with some pay TV channels, which carry BBC America. Now, some of the BBC's best-known programs, including Top Gear, and Sherlock, were available along with archive shows such as Kevin and Stacey, Faulty Towers, Planet Earth, and classic episodes of Doctor Who. Now, the closure was expected after BBC Worldwide announced in 2013 it intended to pull support for the global iPlayer, saying it would instead focus on making material available via the BBC.com website. Users have been notified of the switch-off, and auto-renewing subscriptions are being canceled. So, and BBC Worldwide issued a statement today. They said, we'd like to thank all of our subscribers for using the service. We are now developing plans to launch new digital services across multiple devices. So, too bad it's gone. All right. Nothing we can do about that big business decision there. Yeah, business. Okay. Doctor Who, Star Trek, and limitations of creativity. Now, technical and story limitations in Star Trek, the original series, and classic Doctor Who led to creative problem solving, and here's how. Now, basically, it goes into how do you make a good sci-fi show? You make it look like it's far flung in the future when you've only got like $5. It's just hard to do. And this is how they did it. Like one of the biggest innovations that ever came into being was on, and no discount to Dr. But it was on Star Trek, the original series. The reason why they had the transporter to beam up and down is because they didn't want to have the money to shoot or even try to conceive. Well, for one, the ship it as a design was, the original Enterprise was not going to be able to land on a planet. And at that time, the whole shuttle thing hadn't even been brought up. So they had to come up with a way to get the guys on and off the planet every week. And also it was on the cheap. And that way they didn't have to go through the trouble of filming an effects scene for every time the ship would have to come down, land, or do whatever. Like you'll notice the later shuttle scenes and all that, even those are pretty quick and dry. Heck, I even think that they did a better job on the Jupiter 2 crash scenes every week in Lost in Space. But that's what they did, and that's how that came about, the transporter. It wasn't the fact that it was originally there or anything like that. It was actually created to, make that more, easy to film. And I thought that, and it became one of the biggest innovations of Star Trek, the good old transporter. And, Doctor Who, a lot of other things came out of that. So if you want to get it, if you're interested in this kind of thing, boom, here it is over on Den of Geek. Oh, well, that's all I got for tonight, guys. Like I said, we'll probably be hearing more tomorrow about where they're going, if they are going back to Spain or what's going on with that, because there's word going around that they are. That was put up by Adam Warford, who, by the way, is an honorary crew member. Okay. So we'll hear, if I hear more on that that's factual, I'll pass it on to you. Matt brought friends over. The tall guy. He's okay, but the one with the umbrella creeps me out. Have a good night, guys. See you tomorrow.